Excellency, Katerina Novák, my friend, President of Hungary. It has just taken a few minutes for us to be friends. So I think we are going to transmit that to the friendship between our two countries. Senior officials from Hungary and Rwanda, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to take this opportunity to once again welcome the President and her delegation to Rwanda. From my discussion with President Novák, it is clear that Rwanda and Hungary enjoy good bilateral relations. We are committed to making our ties even stronger. And at this point, I want to mention that Rwanda intends to open a diplomatic presence in Budapest and very soon. For our countries, job creation and an enabling environment for business are key priorities. Through the new agreements signed today, we are committed to build on this shared vision and create mutually beneficial opportunities for the people of Rwanda and Hungary. We appreciate the significant loan provided by Hungary to upgrade the current water treatment plant and hope to benefit from Hungary's expertise in water management. Our cooperation in the field of education is also very important. So far, 40 Rwandans have received scholarships to study in Hungarian universities, and today we have agreed to extend this program. We appreciate that. We will also be working with Hungary to train Rwandans in the field of nuclear energy, an important component of our future energy plans. Your Excellency, I look forward to exploring more opportunities and to deepening our cooperation. Once again, welcome to Rwanda, and I'm looking forward to visiting Hungary, your country, hopefully very soon. And I very much thank you, and Madam President, I may now invite you to make your remarks.
Thank you so much, dear President. Dear President Paul Kagame and dear friend, and dear members of both delegations and dear journalists. This is my first visit as a president to an African country. And the reason why I chose Rwanda to be the first country to visit is because I wanted to see it myself, how much Rwanda has developed in the recent decade. And I can see it myself. I had the privilege and the chance to meet Rwandan people, to meet Rwandan communities, and to experience personally how far you got from where you started. And knowing your tragic history, it is even more to appreciate how much progress you made lately. And it's also thanks to your leadership and thanks to your commitment. So I want to just congratulate to all the efforts that you and your team have made. And I am so happy to see how we Hungarians can also contribute to the development of Rwanda. This is also the first time that the Hungarian president ever visits Rwanda, so that can be a milestone in our bilateral relations. Hungary is a key, is a doorway to the European Union, and for us, Rwanda is also a doorway to the African continent. So that makes our situation also quite unique. We are bigger in size, but our population is almost similar. Unfortunately, we are not 13 million people, or only 10 million, but around the same size, and we can have influence on our surrounding countries as well, and we can show a good example on how to cooperate based upon a mutual respect, because that is what we can offer, we Hungarians, this respect for you, for your way of life, for your people, and for your nation, and that is what we expect also from our allies, that they show also this respect towards us Hungarians. That is this mutual respect on which our cooperation already lies on, and on which it is going to lie on in the future as well. Hungary just very recently opened a trade and consular mission in Kigali, and I am very happy that Mr. President Kagame just now announced his willingness and plan to open their diplomatic mission in Hungary, so they will have also in the very near future a diplomatic presence in Budapest. We very welcome this decision of theirs, and I hope that it can even give more impetus to our cooperation. I also would like to thank you for the invitation to the Women Deliver conference, because that also reflects our common commitment towards empowering women. And I thank you for what you have done in that respect in Rwanda already until now. And just 3 more points I would like to raise about which we spoke. First is the war, and the wars, I could even say, which are happening in our neighboring countries. And of course, for us Hungarians, the war in our direct neighborhood in Ukraine, it is very alarming. And this meeting of us, or of ours, just offered us the chance to speak about the importance of peace. Rwandan people know what peace and war means, what the difference is between peace and a war situation. And we can also learn from you how to appreciate the peace situation and the lack of war conflicts. So that is why we stand for peace, also in Europe, also in Ukraine, and we try to do our utmost in order to reach peace negotiations and peace in general. We also offered humanitarian help to refugees from Ukraine. Maybe you are not familiar with the fact that almost 2 million Ukrainian refugees came to Hungary or through Hungary already as a consequence of the war in the last year and a half. We also spoke about the help on the spot that Hungary can deliver to Rwanda, because we think that this mass immigration which hits now Europe can only be stopped if we deliver help on the spot. We don't want to distract the best educated, the most mobile people of Rwanda or the African continent and bring them or invite them to Europe. In fact, what we would like is to contribute to your development. And the way we contribute to the development is that we ask what you need and we try to help you in what you need. So you have to define your own needs and we have to help in what you really define as need. We have a stronger economic cooperation than before, but still there is a room for maneuver. So I very much hope that our mutual friendship now can also contribute to our economic cooperation, because Rwanda and Hungary are both investor-friendly countries, so that can bring investors from Hungary to Rwanda, and we can also show how we manage our investor-friendly environment in Hungary. We can both speak about some success stories in our economic development, in our social development, or in social fields and economic fields as well. And I can see myself how the Rwandan development with expertise, technology, and know-how is right now growing and happening. The 3 documents that we signed or exchanged right now can also contribute to the future cooperation of our country. You also mentioned, dear President, the Tide Aid loan program, which contributes to the modernization of Kigali's water treatment system. That is about Tide Aid loan of $52 million, which is one of the ever largest Tide Aid programs that Hungary contributed in or offered to other countries. So I think it is very meaningful that we can start it already from tomorrow on with the signature and the exchange of these documents. And it can contribute to the renovation and expansion of Kigali's water treatment plants. And we are there, Hungarians, not only at the planning stage, but also through implementation. So we offer our expertise in water management, which is, I think, highly appreciated here. And it can, through the modernization, the daily capacity will be increased to more than the double. And the 6-kilometer pipeline network will be built also. So I think it is very important. We have some other fields also on which we cooperate, but I just wanted to state this one example. We also offer humanitarian aid. I had the chance to visit the Nyanza school, which was a great experience to meet the students over there and to see how we could contribute to their everyday life. And I should also mention the Hungary Helps program, and that not only in Rwanda but all over the world we contribute to humanitarian programs. Already 300 humanitarian aid and rehabilitation programs have been launched in 54 countries since 2017, and they were worth more than $100 million. And thanks to that, nearly 1 million people didn't have to leave their homes, but could stay at home and have a better life. And since 2020, we have provided Rwanda with more than 6.5 billion forints, which is our money, worth of aid in humanitarian assistance and health, vaccines and so on. So I think it is also meaningful. And last but not least, in our cooperation and our development programs, you also mentioned, dear Paul, the scholarships that we offer to Rwandan students. I find this very important. And we can see that so many Rwandan students apply for these scholarships, that there is really a high need for this high-level education, which offers them the opportunity to come back later on to Rwanda and to benefit from the expertise they gained in Hungary on our costs, but then to contribute to the development of your country here in Rwanda, which we find very important. Thanks to the agreement thanks to the signature of the agreement today, we can offer in the coming 3 years for 60 Rwandan students, again, this opportunity to study on our costs in Hungary. And altogether, we have 12,000 students from all around the world who study on our expenses thanks to this scholarship program, which is called Stipendium Hungaricum. And the really very last point I would like to raise is the demographic situation. We have different demographic challenges. So I don't say that the situation in Rwanda and Hungary is similar, but we both have demographic challenges, and we can find the common denominator, which is that we would like that all desired, wished children be born. So we don't have to reduce birth rates, we don't want to increase birth rates, we just want to reach a state or status when women can have as many children as they want to have in the moment when they want to have them, and enable them to live their family lives and have success in their professions in the meantime. And so that we can learn from each other, because we can learn a lot from you related to family matters as well, and how you put family in the focus and how much you value family ties. I also invite you, dear President, officially to the Budapest Demographic Forum, which is going to be held in 2 months' time, mid-September in Hungary. So I very much hope that you can make it. And in any case, I hope to see you in Hungary, and I hope that I can also show you a little bit around, and then we can even better understand what we still have to in the field of cooperation in the future. So once again, thank you all for today's meeting and the whole visit, because I really had the chance to explore and to know a little bit the Rwandan people, and they made a very, very good impression in not only me, but all the members of my delegation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellencies. If you allow me, we will now take 2 quick questions from members of the press. We will start with our guests. We will start with our guest, Matthias Cohen.
Excellencies, thank you. This is Matthias Cohen with the Hungarian weekly Mandinel. My first question would concern Your Excellency, Madam President. As part of your visit to Rwanda, you are scheduled to speak at the Women Deliver 2023 conference here in Kigali. What do you think you can do as the President of Hungary to make women's life better on a global scale?
Thank you. I will be very brief, because I can say it very simply. First of all, thank you for the invitation and for the organization of this event. My goal is very simple, that women have the real choice. So I will always speak in favor of real choice. And that means that women should not be forced to choose between family life and professional life, but to give them the chance to do both at a time. So we don't want to make women be forced to choose either becoming a mother or being successful in their professional life. So I will do my utmost in order to enable women all around the world and also in Hungary not to give up on their dreams about becoming a mother, even if they want to be successful in their professions, and not to be forced to give up on their professional dreams if they want to become a mother. So to enable them to reach both goals at the same time. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Madam President. My second question would concern you, Your Excellency, Mr. President. As President Novák has also alluded to the fact that the Republic of Rwanda has seen economic growth in the last decades that is exceptionally fast, even for the African context. What do you identify as the key reason of Rwanda's economic success, and in which areas do you see opportunities for cooperation with Central Europe in continuing this progress?
The real growth is founded on people's development. So how much you invest in the people, give them skills, give them opportunity to play their role and their part in their country's development through skills, technology. They must have good health. And so that is the foundation, really. And that's what we concentrated on in terms of the investments we made, so that people can be productive and more productive as we keep growing into the future. That is number one. The number two thing is to identify now key sectors. Basically, when you look at Rwanda, from the beginning, it has been agriculture, agriculture-dependent country, and so. But there was big room for investment in agriculture, agro-industries, and so on and so forth. And since this sector touches many or the majority of our population, with the right investments so far we have made, there is still a lot to do. That has been propelling our economy and forming a big part of that growth. The second has been, as I mentioned, the skills, technology, and the knowledge really contributing to the economy. We have seen services and industries around that grow very fast. Services now contribute nearly 50% of our GDP, and this has happened in the recent times. But it is because of those prior investments that we have made, and so on and so forth. So, given what I've just said, we wish to cooperate with Hungary in many of those areas where they even have advanced, and whether it is areas of technology or of different kinds, and learning from different experiences, given where Hungary itself has come from, and where it is now. There is a lot we can do together to make that necessary input from our relationship for us to keep growing. So this is really where we are, and we are looking very much forward to the cooperation with Hungary, and we, as I said earlier, we want to bring our two countries even much closer by having a diplomatic presence in Hungary, and we will do it very soon. Thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Thank you. The last question will be from Edmond Kagame.
Thank you, Excellencies. My name is Edmond Kagire. I work with Kigali today. President Novák touched the Russia-Ukraine conflict a bit. I wanted to ask both of you, this conflict has led to global disruptions and a reckoning of what looks like a changing world order. Hungary is often criticized for being vocal about shutting its own course and relationships with partners, and Rwanda, on the other hand, has also stood for fairness in the international system. How can countries like Rwanda and Hungary, not considered superpowers, work together to navigate some of these challenges? Thank you.
Thank you. So I will react to the part of the question which refers to Hungary and the conflict in Ukraine. And just as I told before, for us, peace is the most important. And being here in Rwanda, I can understand it even better why peace is so precious. We are, in some sense, spoiled in Europe for not having many armed conflicts or war conflicts since the Second World War. That wasn't the case in Rwanda. And people tend to forget how much suffer a war can cause, and what it means to lose lives, and what it means for mothers to lose their sons, for wives to lose their husbands. And that's what we see on a daily basis in Ukraine right now, the loss of lives and the meaningless loss of lives. So what we stand for in Hungary is peace, and a ceasefire as soon as possible, peace negotiations, peace talks, and then a sustainable, just, long-lasting peace in our neighborhood. And we don't want to have any war conflicts in our country, so we want to safeguard peace in Hungary as well, which is for us so precious. So that is why we are so standing in speaking up for peace. And of course, it is not just some saying that we want peace in general, but we want to speak also about the aftermaths of the war in Ukraine. And we think that we have to think in the long run as well, and we have to consider the long-term consequences of our coexistence in that region. So we have to deal with all these very difficult questions and issues, And on one hand, it is very important that we speak clearly about the condemnation of the Russian aggression against Ukraine and the importance of the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the attacked Ukraine. But on the other hand, we also have to be able to think in the long run and to figure out how to reach the way towards peace and the ceasefire. That's what we need the most right now in our region. Thank you.
Yeah, for us, what we can contribute to is that debate, but the debate of moving towards peace, because there is instability, there is war, there is in that part of the region, but which doesn't stop and end in that region. It spreads across the world to the extent that it reaches us here, even in Rwanda, as it reaches the whole continent of Africa. There are many aspects of fallouts of that conflict in Ukraine, relating to Russia, Ukraine, the West, so to speak, because Europe and America and others are involved. Now, for me, as you can see, we can only talk about things. We can discuss, we can contribute to a debate, but there is little else we can do, really, as a country, as Rwanda, or personally the one being asked. But since it is just giving an idea or a thought towards that, we can always say, irrespective of the cause and who is right here and who is wrong there, and at the end of the day, when war is up and running like it is, there are so many wrongs, more wrongs than right. I think so. We need to, and when you move towards peace, and I get it, then you start moving towards more rights than wrong. So I think what needs to be done today, as people fight, and hopefully each side hoping that it is going to win the war. Sometimes they win the battle today, but when the war keeps raging, I think they need to be seeing beyond that, whichever sides, and looking at peace as the end goal. How do they achieve stability and peace in that region, which means the same for all of us? Otherwise, to keep fighting, keep powering arms and ammunitions and of all types, and in that situation, and hoping that one side defeats the other, well, it may take too long, first of all, and the damage trail of that is just already too costly. So you can imagine if we go for another 2 years or 3, what it will look like. That's why there is a compelling need for sanity to prevail, for those who have the power, for those who are involved in the war, to really think about what is this give and take process they can be involved in to bring a settlement. Inevitably, everyone will have something to give, and everyone will have something to gain or receive from that. But people need to look at the root cause of that problem, and whatever path to a solution needs to be addressing the root causes of what we have in Ukraine. So for me, theoretically, it is simple to talk about these things, but I know practically for those people involved, they keep arguing that, I have been wronged. Just like President you said, which is right. I mean, there has been an invasion. That's wrong. And then somebody will come up and say, no, but there has been an invasion because of this reason. And then you have people thinking, but there is this reason. I think people need to think about it. And so on and so forth. So you have all these arguments. Somehow they need to be brought down to the table for people to digest them and keep finding which ways they can move that situation towards peace, and also all of us to stop being affected by what is happening there. I imagine Hungary, being closer to the situation, experiences very acute fallouts from that, whether it is political, economic, security, and the politics around it must be very intense there. So you have our sympathies, if you will, but I don't know whether that is helpful. But so let's see what we can do about that. I mean, based on what we are thinking, but people need to act and just stop, not just talking endlessly about what should happen, but it should start happening. The world is waiting to see and have peace from that. Thank you very much.
We thank you very much, Your Excellencies, for your valuable time today. Allow me on behalf of the media to wish Her Excellency President Katalin Novák and her entire delegation an enjoyable stay in Rwanda.